us to maintain our duality, space is very important. But that we're talking about only physical space. Now, we may have a lot of physical space. We may have 5,000, 10,000 square foot home.
I know.
But at the mind level, we have no space. I don't like this. Why did you do this? I don't like this, this and that. We fight all the time. At the mental plane, at the spiritual plane, there is no space there. When I recognize your rights, and when I recognize your ideas, and when I respect your ideas, I'm giving you space. So physical space has no value if there is no spiritual or mental space given to anybody else. And that's the best gift you can give it to someone. Because what happened? Before the universe came, there was plenty of space, right? And the objects were created, material was created, and then the space was created. What happened to that? For 13.5 billion years we evolved, and beautiful species of flowers and birds and human beings and all these beautiful things created, the mountains and the rivers and all that. Evolution takes place only if there is space. So the same way, when we learn in our life to give space to each other, a lot of evolution can take place at the mind level. And the evolution may not happen necessarily the way you want it. I don't think the consciousness wanted it this way. It just says, these are the rules. You follow the rules. It's like a playground. Mom drops up the kids. There are boundaries. And mom sits and chats with her friend. Basically, he says, you're left alone. You play around. And then, these are the boundaries. You don't cross that. So, rules are still there in consciousness. You fall, you hurt yourself. Gravity is still there. We are not conscious of gravity all the time. But the rules are still there. But within those rules, the evolution has taken its own place. In different situations, evolution will go in a totally different way. I told you about the Papua New Guinea, right? There are 2 islands. And I told you about the birds of paradise. Same species of bird. Over 500, 700 years, they almost look different. But genetically, they are the same birds. Because the females of one island liked more like a red color, and the females of the other like the blue colors. After 700, 800 years, one is dark blue and another is dark red. But they are the same birds. Because the female chooses. The male has to perform that dance. If you have not seen it, you should see the dance of the bird of paradise. It's fascinating. It's so beautiful. So when the bird dances, the female has to do the selection. If she likes the dance, she will mate with him. If not, then he has to go for another female, if at all, things like that. So when that happens, so over the period of so many generations, one color got selected over the other. So the consciousness cannot decide every single thing, how the things could. So evolution is going to take place. So when you give space to your spouse or your children, you're giving them freedom to evolve. And evolution may not necessarily take place
the way we want,
the way you want it.
But it will take place.
You don't need to give, they take anyway.
No, but I mean, in the context you were saying that the same rules apply in the family as long as you have the same rules of gravity as you say in the playground. Same rules apply with the family, that okay, these are the general rules.
Right.
Within that you have the space.
Exactly.
And you can explore.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
What would
giving freedom, say, okay, come home and do the drugs, obviously not. I'm just
saying. That's what, within that limitation.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The rules will be there, but within the rules there should be a lot of freedom. Just
but
like,
who sets the rule?
Well, your wisdom.
Again,
your wisdom.
To your own core values.
The reason I asked that question, because if I make the rules, is based on what I think is right.
Rules have to be as broad as a gravity. I mean, like you're talking about the extreme.
That's what I'm talking about. Right. What you're saying, yeah. The rules should be
by the family values.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
but it has to be broad, not broad, what I like or what.
Exactly, where the ego is not involved.
Yeah, where the ego.
Where
because
the ego is not
between
involved.
two also, there are likes and dislikes, right?
Exactly.
Somebody thinks this is good. Somebody thinks this is not good.
See, there is no good or bad in the world, right? The good and bad is all definition of an individual mind. The only thing you have to make it define good or bad by anything that will take you closer to the spirituality and make you more aware. See, ultimate goal of all of us is to be more aware and coming out of the LUI, the living under the influence of the objects, people, situations, because ultimately that's what's going to give us the happiness. So when we become, first of all, we have to have that knowledge, right? Once we have that knowledge and we are more aware in our life, and then we can define the rules with awareness. So anything that they do, if that's gonna take them away from their awareness, obviously is not good. If they think that doing drugs is gonna be good, then obviously you have to set the rule. So you kind of nudge them, guide them in a proper direction, but don't force on every single issue just because I say so, like that. That's what I'm saying. So awareness and creating a space, first we have to create the space within us.
Within us, yes.
And once we create the space within us, then only we can offer it. How can we give something what we don't have?
But that's why I'm saying, when we're saying we have to set the rules, first we have to meditate, we have to realize what's
Exactly.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
As you
then
said,
only you
know,
can
Absolutely.
yeah.
As you said, you have to increase the mental space for yourself.
Exactly.
Man motu karwan.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And have love for everybody.
Yes.
See,
It
man
will
motu
happen.
karvu is not possible psychologically. That's where the meditation comes in the picture. That will expand you, which will create a new space between two beings. The space will take place only when you really expand yourself.
Right. See, man is still mind.
Yeah, manne motu karyu is different.
Your man is the ideas, but I got your main message though, in the sense like you have to realize the space within yourself, and the space is beyond the mind. The true mindlessness is the state of awareness, where there are no ideas, there are no thoughts, there are no limitations, because along with ideas comes boundaries, and along with the boundaries comes duality. So when the duality disappears, and when you reach to a higher state of samadhi, and at that level you have nothing but space. And believe me, there is nothing like emptiness either in life. True. It's like a ditch, right? If the ditch may be totally hollow, the rain comes and fills it up completely. So the same way, when you think that my mind has become totally empty, it will fill up. God is everywhere. Consciousness is everywhere. It will fill up with the love, the friendship. And that will start radiating out of you. So at that time, when you stop all your negotiating points, that this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, the ego starts dying little by little by little. And at some point, there is nothing else left for you but to love. That's all you can offer is love, right? So it's a process. It's a process that happens. So with the dhyan.
But charity still begins at home. First you have to create space within you to accept.
Home meanings, this home.
Yeah. And then your thoughts become expressions, not actions.
So with meditation, what happens is your outside expressions of greed, anxiety, all these things will start disappearing. But the little by little long process it goes on, you have to realize that these are still in a seed form, will be still sitting there. So you cannot be satisfied, said, okay, just because I have become happy and this and that. These things can express itself in a wrong situation time to time. So in a favorable situation, you will be still all right. So in a home situation, you might have gotten control and this and that. All of a sudden, somebody says something and then you lose your temper again. So it requires continuous practice over a period of, to not give up until you reach to the final state. And that's they call the sabij samadhi, and then it becomes nirbij samadhi. Nirbij samadhi, even the seeds are burnt out, and you just cannot, like Buddha. No matter what you do, you just cannot take him. He just would not tweak. He just will be always Buddha, like that. So that level will come eventually, where you just don't have any capacity left to become angry. So awareness is something that you have to become aware of. And the time to become aware of awareness is in the meditation. And the process of becoming aware of awareness is awareness. There is nothing else. At that level...
It can be experienced, not described.
Yes, exactly. But it becomes a play. And you become conscious of your own awareness, where all the thoughts disappear. And you start playing. There are only two things left. Awareness and existence. There is nothing else left. You exist. Existence is just basically deep root level experience. Like you just exist. And that existence is not for everyone. People who are still materialistic, they have so many thoughts, so many projects in life, this and that, I want to do this, I want to do that. Awareness and the existence does not exist for them. Existence exists only for you if you exist for existence.
I think,
So
but they are also all going through evolution. So eventually they will realize
they will.
they are fine
But-
what they are doing
but
right
not in that direction. If we keep
True.
on going in a
True.
material life,
Yeah.
we keep on believing material life, if you have only body consciousness and nothing else, then it will not be for
now.
you.
Then
The
correct.
soul consciousness will come in only with the practice of meditation. So,
But even when you have awareness, sometimes a point comes, like you are aware of something, but then after period, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a period comes. Okay, you are not God, you have a feeling, let's give it up. So what is that
give it
phase?
up meaning.
Like anything, like you said, awareness. Like for say example, like I'm just giving simple example, eating candy. You are aware, this is bad for you, don't eat. From the morning you have that consciousness. You go to the candy, oh, it's bad, don't eat, come back. But at night, finally, it's just one piece, let's eat it.
Agreed.
So what is that?
That's lack of meditation.
Lack of not enough
Because
meditation.
it's same thing like feeling with like your family situation. You are aware this is not good, this is not good. But finally a stage comes, oh, you are not God,
Agreed.
you have a feeling, let's do it.
So meditate
What's
more.
wrong?
So meditate more.
Meditate more means so it comes
It-
like
it will come.
you come to that stage
Obviously,
where you
yeah,
go,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, it's bad, it's bad, you are aware, you
Don't
are
think
aware.
15-20 minutes of meditation is going to clear out everything in your life. If we have, all of us, we have a long way to go. So it's a process. But first step is to go, at least make some efforts into meditation, realize your true self, realize your true nature, and then little by little it will start expressing. But then sometimes you will realize that the pleasure that you got in the meditation, do you want to mess it up by an incident like this? Then it's not worth it. Like, then at the very subtle level, you start recognizing that things that you did during the daytime in a not aware state is affecting your meditation the next day.
Then you won't eat that candy.
Then you would say it's
Candy
not
or
worth
anything
it.
like anger.
Anything.
It's a-
Very
it's an
big.
example.
Anything.
You know,
Exactly.
this is bad, this is
Agreed.
bad. Oh, you get upset, you
Right.
get upset.
But what's
Stop.
gonna-
But then a point comes. Oh,
Right.
you are not God. You have feeling. Let's burst
No,
out.
we are God. That's the problem.
That's the
You are
problem.
saying that you are not
It
God.
comes
But
like
we all
that,
know
but-
that we, aham brahmasmi, we are God. So the thing is that argument that you might have had with a person, right? The next day when you sit down to meditate, that's going to hurt because a lot of thoughts and agitations have been created by the discussion with that person. So next time a situation arises, you will just walk away. It's not worth it like that.
But it takes time.
takes
like,
time.
but it
See,
starts initially. You
it's
can
gonna-
control one day, but it goes longer and longer.
Agree.
1 month, 2 months, but then
See, our vrittis and vasanas have been created by multiple births and multiple lives. So we have, it's like a steam engine. We are all on a full force going, and we just have to slow that motion down. And it's not easy. So, the first line of Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodh. The chit is the mind, the vrittis, that's multiple layers and layers and layers of our nirodh. We have to remove them. And we have accumulated all this in many lives. It's not going to disappear, maybe not even in one life. So the persistence and a long-term patience is what is needed. And that's what's going to take us down the road. A few more minutes.
Yeah.
So meditation is the art of nothingness. You have to realize that nothingness is beautiful. Peace is beautiful. Silence is beautiful. And when you start enjoying the beauty of all that, the material things stop giving you the pleasure as much as they used to. So little by little, your likeness and your thinking that source of pleasure has to be outside will start going down. The clinging to the life will start going down. And you'll start clinging to yourself. So again, it's a process. And along with the meditation comes the freedom. And the freedom is like, you don't have to get involved in people's problems for no reason, unless you are called into. You feel free from judgments. If somebody judges you, it doesn't bother you. Because you realize your true self is something else. So whatever they say is not your problem. I tell my patients, what I look like is your problem. What I feel like is my problem. He said, Doc, you're losing hair. I said, well, so bad. You want to fix it, you fix it. I have no value. I look at it myself only once in a day. So it makes you free. You have so much freedom in life. You're not affected by people's judgments and comments and things like that. It doesn't bother you. And you just have a true pleasure, like Holi yesterday. Right? It was so much fun, right?
What you are saying, you are detaching yourself from the whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Detach it looks like a positive action, but it happens.
It happens.
You're
That's
not
the beauty.
doing you're not doing a detachment. You become detached because of the power of consciousness, the power of Paramatma.
That's the effect. That's
It's
the
the
effect,
effect,
actually.
Everything is an effect. The whole world is an effect. We are here because of the effect. Ultimate cause is the awareness from where everything came out, right? And the awareness was distributed to every single creature, from a blade of grass to a stone to a human being. So that awareness was distributed. So we are all the effects, right? We are all gopis. He is the Krishna. So freedom is beautiful, and with that space you enjoy. You're almost like retired. You don't have to do anything in life, and yet you are fully active, but you're not attached to the results, because results are going to be clinging to the life. Clinging to the life you don't want to do. Results are going to be in the future.
Actually, when you retire, you have more energy to do things.
True.
Yeah, but when you say that you don't have to do it, the life becomes meaningless.
No, it's the other way around. Life will have a full of meaning, because
On
at
the
that
other side of the
right,
not worldly whatever.
yeah, but you will be doing everything with a full enjoyment.
No, instead of having to do it, you want to do it. That's the difference.
But then you will not be attached to the results. So you
Correct.
will be doing with pleasure, but you won't care what happens after that. You will be 100% full force into whatever you do.
Right.
And believe me, consciousness will not let you sit. If you're really fully aware.
Correct.
See, there are a lot of people think that, okay, you go take a sannyas and go to the Himalayan mountains, don't do anything. That's actually going against the consciousness also. Because consciousness had created with some reason. So when you walk away from sansar, the same problem happens. Then your mind is going to be still in the sansar. And then it's walking. So you're really breaking the chain of the consciousness that is done. So if you're really, truly, fully aware of your roles in life, then it will happen. You will not have to positively do anything. Because if you positively do something as a doership, then you're going to be expecting the results. But you won't care about the results either, because you are not the doer. He's the doer. The consciousness will operate through you. So just last one more point. So freedom is really the byproduct of realizing your true self. And you're also free. You're not bound by your choices. Anything that you eat wrong, anything you want to drink wrong, the corporate giants cannot control you anymore, because everything that you see is basically they're going after your mind. Your mind is not yours. Correct. Your mind is owned by multiple corporate giants.
Medias.
Medias and gigantic, all these corporations, they own you.
Bombarded.
And when you feel that you are true self, you create a space. You're creating the space between yourself and the rest of the material world. And you're walking with the freedom that this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. I don't have to do just because you tell me that this is good. Just because an 18-year-old model sells yogurt, I don't have to buy that. I mean, I may be 300 pounds, that's another story. So, all of a sudden your vision changes. And you will be still in the sansar, living in the same life. But now it's like the same sunlight which used to burn you during the daytime. Now your medium has changed. It gets reflected off the moon and cools you down. So the same life that you're living in sansar, the same sansar that was used to give you the cause of suffering and grief and anxieties and all that, now you're walking around with total freedom. And that's the ultimate. So you have become a sannyasi within the sansar. And that's all for today.
Okay.